the second season of live action One Piece dropping, a lot of fans noticed something immediately. Our boy Mackenyu, who plays Zoro, got seriously jacked to a point that he's more like post-time skip level Zoro, and according to interviews, even Oda himself talked about he needed to train specific areas to look even more like the anime swordsman. So, what did Mackenyu actually do to build that physique, and could you realistically train it for yourself? Well, today your friendly neighborhood JaxBlade got you. To be honest, majority of the live action One Piece cast has just gotten in supreme shape for their roles, especially Taz Skylar, who's been posting his Sanji workouts nonstop, so just massive respect to all of them. Now, I've already talked about Zoro, the character's training, for years at this point, but let's talk about the actor Mackenyu's training, because he really did a great job nailing this role this season. And one of the things about him is, if you go back and look at his early stuff, he was already ripped. Like, he was already like one of those people who had that lean athletic build. And so this was him in his early 20s to now here he is in like his early 30s. So this actually tracks for someone who is trying to train consistently and just maintain that caliber for what they have to do. And when you are already lean and add 5 to 10 pounds of muscle to that lean frame, you're always going to look way bigger and much more impressive because the muscularity can show better. It's what I talked about before. It's called the genjutsu effect. Like, because remember back in the day, I'll just go over this really quickly, when Twilight came out, Taylor Lautner was a bit lean ripped in the first movie, and the second movie he gained muscle, but because majority of the people on the planet are not fitness experts versus someone who looks up the stuff every single day, they were like, oh my god, he got as jacked as Arnold. And then the people who do fitness are like, no, he got in shape, but he wasn't that big. That's the same thing with Mackenyu. And that's why I think it's so great that Oda specifically said, all right, I need you to build up muscle here, 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 because that only highlights the physique.
So the first thing he tells me, he goes, Mackenyu, give me a thicker neck. I was like, oh, okay, do you mean the neck or the trap neck? Because neck, I don't think I could do, but traps I can.
Little fitness hack, if you train your neck, but you also do shrugs and weighted pull-ups, that actually makes you appear bigger, even if your frame isn't as massive as other people, just because this area is the first thing that people see, and they're like, oh damn, this guy's got a freaking brick shithouse neck. But here's what Zoro's trainer, Lloyd Naker, says when he was talking about how he trained Mackenyu for this role. Yes, I'm Mackenyu's trainer, and I helped him prepare for season 2. I also had the pleasure of training Inaki Godoy for his shirtless scene, which has also been causing quite the stir on social media. Mackenyu trained 7 days a week for 3 hours each session and followed a strict meal plan prepared by my team. In fact, I had to force him to have one cheat meal a week. He's easily one of the most dedicated clients I've ever worked with and put everything into getting ready for this role. Some days we even train directly after night shoots at 2 a.m. at my gym, Cape Town. That's the level of dedication Mackenyu brings. These guys worked incredibly hard to give the fans their very best. Just wait for season 3. Mackenyu as Zoro is going to look even more incredible. He then said, over the next few days, I'll be sharing Mackenyu's full training routine along with diet he followed, yes, completely natural. This will give you a real insight into the work, discipline, and intensity his body went through to achieve this transformation. I'll also be including the supplements and vitamins he used throughout the process. Mackenyu has approved the sharing of this information. All right, so this is something I do want to talk about. Now, someone who's been a coach since 2010 and also who's been looking up like various celebrity workouts since like 2007 at this point, I feel like I can sort of guess what he did, and I don't mean this by any disrespect. I feel like as the coach is a bodybuilder, there were a lot of things that he would implement into his training, and also some stuff of we seen Mackenyu training as well. Because the fact of the matter is this, all right, when an actor is getting in shape for a movie role, it is different than the average person, and I say this not just because, you know, the whole steroid thing, which we'll get onto in a second. It has to do with the fact that you are being rushed. It's the whole thing with that MCU timeline thing when you see a character shirtless and they like are their peak on stage and stuff like that, or the whole thing with like Wolverine and all these other people. You are being rushed to reach a certain physique by a date, because if you do not reach that physique by a certain goal date, then you are going to mess up the entire shooting process and they have to reschedule, and it can cost lots and lots of money. So with a lot of actors, they tend to overwork them to a point. It's like, we need to get this body on point. However, the problem with that is you won't be able to maintain it as casually. Because we're dorks on this channel, think of it like when Golden Frieza was fighting Goku, all right? Frieza just rushed down there and was like, I'm Golden Frieza, I can whoop everyone's ass, I got this new body, look at me. But because he rushed to get it and didn't learn how to maintain it properly, Goku and Vegeta just bodied him because they know how to actually maintain their forms. That's the same thing with like fitness stuff, all right? A lot of people will rush to get great physiques. You can get a phenomenal physique in 16 weeks and lose it in like less than a week or properly because you did not stay consistent and make it a lifestyle change. And that's the problem with this type of training routine doing that much. Now, I do not think that he was doing stuff like, you know, 3 hours nonstop lifting per day. I'm sure that he was doing, you know, weights and mobility and cardio conditioning, and then also sword practice as well, because that's a different level of strength when you have to hold swords. If you've ever like used swords in real life, they are very heavy over time, so building up the strength to actually maintain doing all the stuff, especially since he did that badass 100-man fight scene, that is just a different level of training that you have to add to your routine, not just for the show muscles and stuff like that. So I think that's very important. So he's more than likely not doing stuff you'd see in Arnold's bodybuilding encyclopedia, because when you read this, like the volume these guys did back then was absolutely insane. Next, let's talk about, Negatropicana, juice and stuff like that. So the thing is, a lot of people are starting to accuse him of using steroids for this role, especially when someone says, oh, they were all natural the entire way. A lot of people start to roll their eyes just because, this world we're in right now. But here's the thing, for a lot of actors, it actually makes sense for them to use juice because you have to reach a goal by a certain date, and it's not like you're getting on stage stealing it. You just have to have a look, all right? So that's the fastest way to get a look, is just to do that. I, however, don't think that's the case with Mackenyu for several reasons. One, like when you look at his body type, he's still like very much in shape, but also knowing what he looked like when he was younger, it just feels like he constantly worked out. And two, there are 3 things that movies always do to make someone appear bigger that the average eye can't always pick up. But like if you've been in this industry a long time, you can sort of go, oh, he probably did this. And that is getting a pump, also the lighting just being great, and also body contour. So if you remember 300, those actors, a lot of them got really in shape for the role, but they looked even better in the film because the makeup studio will give themselves some makeup that actually highlights the muscles. It makes you look extra ripped. If you've ever gone to a convention and see like a person look extra ripped when they're like wearing a cosplay or something like that, it's more than likely body contour, because all it does is just highlight the muscles that you already have. All right, so if you are just like, oh, I want to bring out my chest, because I feel like Mackenyu as Zoro in this scene definitely had some stuff on his chest to outline it. Same thing with Luffy. Sanji himself, like Taz, is pretty ripped, but when you see that, it's like, oh, okay, he more than likely did a pump, because this is what MCU actors do before their shirtless scenes. They're always like, basically, if you have a shirtless scene coming up, you're working out the entire day. You're doing curls, you're doing like push-ups, you're doing all these different movements to just highlight certain areas they need to like, really pop. And then you also are just making sure the lighting looks even great so that the shadows really show like the cuts and the definition that you have. And then you're also making sure that you have that makeup on, which just makes you look even more jacked. So I feel like for Mackenyu specifically, they had him do a bunch of push-ups behind the scenes, a bunch of curls behind the scenes before this scene, and then they were like, okay, let's just touch him up here and there, and then he was able to do it. That's what I personally think. Again, I'm not gonna talk like I know for a fact, but if I had to put money on it, I would say I am 98% sure that is what happened. Okay, I did not plan this, but like literally 2 minutes ago, Mackenyu's coach posted what they do for their training. So let's go over this. This is chest, calf, and abs routine. All right, so let's see what he does. All right, pre-shirtless training scene. Before the shirtless scene, we performed 4 working sets with 2 to 3 warm-up sets for each exercise. Safety always comes first. Mackenyu is an athlete when it comes to his fight scenes, so even a small niggle or injury could make his explosive sequences painful or impossible to perform. He does all his own stunts, so his training must always take that into account. All his movements are designed to isolate the exact muscle group we want to develop. During each exercise, the target muscle carries 100% of the stress, creating controlled muscle damage with the correct diet and recovery. That muscle repairs and grows in size and density. I'll go deeper into this once I've completed my training phase with him for season 3. I'll also create videos demonstrating how the body often tries to cheat during movements and how to avoid that. The body is fascinating and I'd love to explain it more, but I'll do that properly at a later stage. Training method. With him, we experimented with drop sets, supersets, and several other training methods, but we discovered that his body responds best to rest-pause training. This is an extremely powerful method and not for the faint-hearted. Only the strong managed to complete a full workout this way, and he did. He pushed himself to the limit because he had one goal in mind, to impress his fans, you guys. Aw. All right, rest-pause method. Perform 10 reps, rest 15 to 20 seconds, perform max reps, usually 5 to 6 reps. Our structure often looked like this. Max reps, 15 to 17, 20 seconds rest, max reps again with perfect form, 2-minute recovery. And yes, perfect form is key. The key to effective training is proper nutrition before, during, and after your workout. Your pre-workout meals prepares your body for performance. Intra-workout nutrition helps sustain energy while you're training and depleting. And your post-workout meal focuses on refueling, recovery, and muscle repair. I'll explain all of this in more detail when I break down his diet. Also, as I always say, you can't drive a fancy car without fuel. Your meals are the fuel that power growth and support fat loss. The key is understanding what your body needs to function, your caloric deficits. Science plays a role in building muscle while avoiding unnecessary dirty bulking. While the right approach, small nutritional adjustments every few weeks can support consistent muscle growth while keeping the body fat low. And just like a fancy car needs fuel, you also need regular servicing. Your body is the same. Stretching, foam rolling, sauna sessions, and massage all play a crucial role in recovery, injury prevention, and keeping the body performing at best. So day 1, chest, incline dumbbell bench press, then flat Smith press, a fly, cable flies, weighted dips. All right, see, again, bodybuilding like I called it. All right, and then let's see. Our go-to exercise for legs is inner calf focus, outer calf focus, full calf activation. Okay, so yeah, okay, this is stuff that's going to be the muscles that pop on screen. Alrighty, and alternating sit-ups left and right. Okay, so, okay, boom. These all fit at helping to build that Zoro physique. Like, I always tell people this, like the quickest way to build an anime physique, even if it takes a long time and your genetics are all different and stuff like that, is just to do bodybuilding, because bodybuilding literally lets you sculpt the physique how you want. It's literally like a sculptor adding clay to certain areas where it's like that muscle's lagging, that muscle's lagging. And Zoro's physique is actually just, you know, a strong chest, strong neck, strong back, strong shoulders, nice core, and just lean amounts of muscle. And that's a thing that a lot of people can build towards. Matter of fact, if you want to build a strong athletic physique like Zoro, instead of like spending all that extra time in the gym like Mackenyu had to do, just add these exercises to your routine. I talked about them here.
You're gonna get me taken down with those things out, but our man has an incredible muscular body since he non-stop training on the 1000 Sunny, and your friendly neighborhood JaxBlade gonna help you build a similar bod. Weight decline push-ups are phenomenal for building functionally strong arms, and a chest Fiore and Perona wouldn't mind motoring. Also, cable punches and crossovers can really help build that chest meat. Weighted pull-ups build a strong functional back with great grip strength, and handstand push-ups help build those boulder shoulders and traps. And I just did a quick video explaining how to get the hang of them, but also train those rotator cuffs to keep that shoulder healthy. Frog hops are great for building plyometric power in the legs, but don't do it with a loaded barbell because the risk is too high and it's a quick way to end up in Snap City. Though if you have bad knees, just stick to reverse lunges. Neck training is imperative, so neck curls and reverse neck curls can be added in. Body weight is all you need with these. And for your core, hanging knee raises are absolutely sublime. Of course, barbell and dumbbell curls for those gorilla arms. And sword training itself works a ton of muscles. Reps between 8 to 12 where you can do no more with good form, but again, that's basic stuff. You also gotta eat properly and recover to get those results. And if you wanna see more stuff like this broken down in depth, give me a follow. I'll make you super insane like I did for all these peeps.
For the hell of it, I even made a free PDF that you can download in the description down below. And if you want something a bit more advanced with, like, you know, all the nutrition protocols and all that stuff, just check out my school dojo. Like, all of us are in there just like, you know, weebs and trained to reach our goals and stuff like that. And there are various anime type workouts you can do to help reach your goals and challenges and stuff like that. I'm really having fun with it, so check it out. But in conclusion, massive respect to just Mackenyu for not only having insane sword skills, like that's actually him about that life, but also just being able to build the body to be as authentic to the character and just bringing them to live action. Just absolute respect. I love the fact that Oda and his coach are just like so positive and like helping him to go, yeah, work on this and we'll get you there. So that's absolutely phenomenal. If you made this far in the video, type Zoro Bulk down below. And also just like tell me, what did you think of live action One Piece season 2? I had a great time with it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. I thought the action was superb, and seeing so many characters like modify how they do stuff versus the anime was very interesting to me. Like I had a great time. Like again, the whole thing with Mackenyu killing 100 men, that was just I got amped. I got amped from it. But if you're interested in like a coach or a sensei to actually help you reach your goals, either check out my school or check out like for personal coaching, like one-on-one stuff, just check out my link down below. It's in Zoom and we'll talk on there and we can help you reach your goals. It's whatever they may be. Like I love to do that. And then if you want to learn more about any other anime fitness stuff, check out my videos here. All of them will help you reach your goals. All right, I'll make you super insane. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, Momo die. Now go get that strong thick neck like Zoro and those big chests too. Oh!